Hi beautiful souls, it's Tan here today again with another house video, and today we're talking about the 10th house. We've come a long way guys, and we're getting to that very top part of the chart now. So I call the 10th house the house of your reputation. Okay, so you know what sign rules your 10th house? Write them in the description box below, and if you have any planets in the 10th house, also write them in the description box below. And if you like to share your experiences of your 10th house, then please feel free to do so, because it is a very valuable learning experience for everyone on the channel, and I also really love reading about all your experiences, which I find really fascinating guys, like truly, I love reading them. So one of the most important things about your 10th house is actually your midheaven, and the 10th house kind of has a lot that overlaps with the midheaven. And the thing is, I've kind of already made a whole series on the midheaven plus a midheaven introduction video, which I'm gonna post up there and in the description box below. I'm gonna be repeating a lot of that, and I kind of don't want to have to repeat. So yeah. With that being said, there are a couple of things that I want to add to when I'm talking about your 10th house that I probably didn't mention in the midheaven introduction video. So you see, the thing is that the midheaven, being the highest point in your chart, being the place that you aspire to be in the world, there are several factors that, you know, play a role in influencing and helping you to become your 10th house aspirations and things. And one of those things, of course, as I talked about in my midheaven introduction video, is your 4th house that influences your midheaven and your 10th house. But also the 9th house kind of influences that. So the way that the 9th house influences your 10th house is that because the 9th house is the house of your perspective and your visions about the world, whatever you have in your 9th house, whatever you've developed in your 9th house, you need to be able to bring that into your 10th house and your midheaven, okay? So, you know, we have a reputation in the world, and what is our reputation actually based on? It has to be based on that understanding of life that we've developed in the 9th house, and we take that on to become our contributions and our reputation in the world. And so, you know, for example, if you have like a sun in the 9th house, right? The sun is really about your identity and the way that you gain your self-confidence in the world. So, you know, a lot of 9th house sun people identify a lot with other cultures that are not their own culture, identify with other perspectives that is not the one that they kind of grew up in. So in this example, what can happen is the sun in the 9th house person, let's say they choose a career for their 10th house. Lots of them are very interested in teaching, but it doesn't have to be teaching, but let's use teaching as an example. Let's say that they become teachers, right? They're gonna take, okay? They're gonna, because the sun is your identity, they're gonna put their identity within their 10th house career. So sun in the 9th house identifies a lot with other cultures, most likely. So they're gonna bring the fact that they identify with other cultures into their career or their teaching. So let's say they become a teacher. They might become a teacher of, let's say, geography, right? So where they can really shine in their classroom by showing their students that, hey, I know about all these cultures, I identify with it. Or they could teach other languages that is not their native language to show their students, hey, I've identified with this culture and now I'm bringing it into my career, okay? Or maybe they become like travel agents or something, but they are travel agents for a different country that's not their own, to show that they identify with other cultures. Do you see where I'm getting at here? Yeah. And the other thing that I want to mention about the 10th house is that planets that you have there are going to show the actions that you take within your career world, within gaining the actions that you take to build your reputation. And also, of course, the sign that's in your 10th house is the style okay, that you go about trying to build yourself a career in the world, and how people see you in the world to be. They see you as the archetype of that sign that's there in your 10th house. And the other thing that I kind of want to mention that I think would be really useful is, how do you actually find out your career, your calling, when you're looking at your midheaven or the 10th house? So I didn't really go into detail about this in any of my midheaven videos, so I'm going to do it here. So what you're first looking at is, you're looking at the sign on your midheaven, okay? And then you want to see which house the planet that rules that sign is placed in. And then you want to see which sign that planet that rules the sign on your midheaven, which sign that is placed in, and if it is making aspects to any other planets, because that's gonna kind of influence that planet. So let's say, for example, you have a midheaven in Aries, okay? So now you're gonna have to see, because Mars is the ruler of Aries, you're gonna have to see which house your Mars is placed in, which sign your Mars is placed in, and what aspects your Mars is making to other planets. And then you're going to need to see if there are other planets that are making aspects to your midheaven. So it does really get complicated. It's not an easy, thing to figure out when you want to know what career you should take. And also, if you want to find out your career in your chart, you're also going to have to look at the 2nd house and the 6th house. What sign rules those houses, what planets you have in there. And then you want to be able to synthesize all of this together. So it's not as simple. And even when you do all of this, you're not going to get like one career calling or one life purpose for yourself. You're going to get a couple of different options. But the main thing that you're looking for here with the 10th house is, you're looking at the style, okay? The signs that rules your 10th house shows the style that you come across to be in the world as your reputation, and the style that you take on when you are in public and when you're trying to pursue your goals and make a contribution in the world. So as a quick summary of the 10th house, the 10th house is the awareness of your need to build a reputation in the world. We've come so far in life, now we realize that we've got to be someone in the world. We've got to have some kind of reputation in this world. It's time for that. So in order to do this, we try to find our true purpose in the world. We try to figure out what is our calling and what our highest potential is. And when we figure that out, then we go out and we try to make a contribution to the world, to make the world a better place. So now I want to talk a little bit about my 10th house experience, because that's what we're doing on this series. We are sharing our experiences. So I have a Pisces midheaven, and I have Pisces ruling my 10th house. And I don't have any planets in there, but I have asteroid Pallas in Aries though, in my 10th house. And I actually have another very interesting asteroid, which I just discovered like 3 weeks ago or something. And I'm gonna share this with you towards the end of the video. So first of all, because this house is ruled by Pisces, people have a different idea about my reputation. But one of the things that people seem to think a lot when they first see me is that I'm a very artistic person. And when I was in high school, I had this artistic girl image about me. And it's because I was very into art. I took like IB art higher levels, and I had this whole like gallery opening displaying a bunch of my paintings and sculptures and all those kinds of things, and people were really into my art and stuff like that. So actually, I'm gonna show you a couple of things that I did way back when I was in high school. So this was like 10 years ago, guys. Keep this in mind. This was a long time ago. I think I did this one in drawing class. I quite like this one. I think it's one of my favorite things that I did. It's a hand sketch. There you go. Just focus on it for you guys. There you go. That's the hand sketch that I did once in drawing class back in high school. I love drawing hands, actually. I find that they're they're very technical to draw, but at the same time it's fun. And you just, you know, she's a girl and stuff like that. I think drawing class we did some watercolor stuff, and that's not me. And just a painting that I did, this one. It's an acrylic painting. This one was actually inspired by Salvador Dali. I was like really into his work when I was in high school. I think it's upside down. Never mind, it's supposed to be this. Anyways. Yeah, so I was like inspired by the fact that Salvador Dali was kind of painting things that he was dreaming of. And that's what I did. And this was actually a dream that I had, this girl in the rose, but now I can't really remember why I had that dream and what it was all about, but maybe it was me in a fantasy Piscean land, who knows. Yeah, so the thing is that I've kind of stopped doing art. Not because I don't like it or anything, but you know, I graduated and stuff, and then I went to university and I studied architecture. So I got really busy, you know, doing that. And I think I kind of wanted to actually go to art school. I wanted to go to an art school in Chicago when I graduated from high school. But then my dad didn't support it. He was kind of like, if you wanted to go, you have to get a scholarship because I'm not paying for your tuition fees to go and study in Chicago. And by that time it was already like too late, you know, I would have to build a whole portfolio and all that stuff, so it was like, ugh. And so instead of going there, I just went to architecture school here in Thailand, just kind of saw that my friends were doing it, and I figured, okay, I could also do architecture, design stuff. And I went on doing it and realized I hated it. No offense to anyone who is an architect, but architecture is not like art. I loved art, I did not like architecture because there's all this business side to architecture, and there's the fact that you have to always meet your client's needs, that you didn't really have a chance to put your ideas forward. But I am actually working on something right now, which is currently a secret, but it's an astrology zodiac artwork collection that I'm doing, which still in process, but I'm excited about it. I'll definitely share it with you guys once it's done. Yes, so having Pisces in the 10th house and Pisces being a mutable sign, all you Pisces 10th house midheaven people can probably relate to the fact that the purpose, like your purpose here, is not really so clear, right? I went to architecture school, I've been a journalist, a news reporter on TV.
Hi.
Chris, we are still here at Pathum Thani province in the Samkok district. The situation has worsened over the past few hours, with water level constantly increasing and headed towards in the direction of Bangkok City.
I quit that job and then I was a magazine columnist for a while. I quit that and then I became an English teacher. And what does it actually mean? Okay, so the first word is, so which one of the words matches with this picture? Right, this would be a detached house, okay? For quite a long time, I was 6 years as an English teacher, I really thought that, you know, wow, teaching English must be my thing. But it wasn't. And so here I am, just going with the flow of things. When you have, okay, this goes out to all my dearest Pisces in midheaven out there and Pisces 10th house people. The thing is that it's like Pisces, right? Being this very mutable water sign, being these fishes. It's like your internal compass. Like you can imagine this is your internal compass, right? It's like your internal compass is just spinning like this. It's like it's just spinning like this, and like what you're trying to do with Pisces on the midheaven is like you're trying to say like stop spinning and just go in this direction. And then you go in it and you realize it doesn't work and you start to make it spin again, right? And it spins and then okay, stop. Okay, let's try this new direction, you know? And it doesn't work. So the thing is, that what you really have to do, what I've discovered, right, with Pisces in the 10th house and Pisces in the midheaven, is that you have to let the compass spin. You have to allow yourself to get lost. That's what you have to do. Because when you get lost, you root out all of the options that are not true for you. And once you keep letting it spin, okay, there's actually a stillness that happens. There's a stillness in this chaos. And with this stillness, you can finally hear for the first time. When you go with the flow, you can finally hear for the first time. It's a very subtle, silent sound, but it's coming from inside, deep inside. It's like the subtle sound coming inside. This way, this way, this way. I'm not joking, guys. This is true. It's like this way, this way. And this sound has always been there. It's always been inside of you. The thing that you're supposed to do, the reason why you were born here, your calling. It's always been in there, but it's just very quiet. And then you are trying to spin it and make it go in these directions that you can't hear it. But when you just let it spin, when you just let it flow, you hear it. And that's when you know, that's when the compass stops spinning. Everybody is born here for a purpose, for something. And you know what? When that compass stops spinning, okay, you have to really go for it. No second thoughts, no second guessing. The compass has stopped by itself because it's trying to tell you something. And there's gonna be voices coming from outside telling you, nope, go this way, nope, go this way. There's gonna be family and friends and other people just trying to tell you where to go, but don't listen to them. Because this is the voice that you've never heard because you've been listening to all these voices from the outside. And you know, Pisces is a sign that really absorbs everything. So you're constantly absorbing energy from other people, and when they're telling you to do stuff, when they're pursuing their dreams, it becomes yours. Their voices becomes yours, their dreams become yours, their actions become yours. And that's why this subtle voice that's going on inside of you is going unheard. And sometimes the voice of the Pisces midheaven that is directing them in the right direction, that's directing the compass in the right direction, is so weird and odd and seems a little bit crazy to a lot of people. But I'm telling you, Pisces 10th house midheaven, if you don't follow that voice, you'll forever be spinning the compass in weird directions and feeling off track. Your voice is obviously gonna be weird because that's what Pisces is. Pisces is odd and Pisces is a little bit crazy, but Pisces is also very artistic, very compassionate, very spiritual. So all of these things mixed together, that is your voice, and that is the inner voice that's trying to guide you in the right direction. And you know, there is no one thing, one style that we need to pursue our goals in the world, okay? If you stick with it, you know, when the Pisces midheaven really listens to their voice, they find their passion, and when they really stick with it, they can be so well known for it because you're doing something that is very bold in your expression. It's very different, not in an Aquarius way, but it helps other people so much. It helps other people by its oddities and by its weirdness. It helps heal others in that way. The other thing that I've got going on in my 10th house is an asteroid that is called Urania. So I've got this asteroid called Urania in Pisces, conjunct my midheaven. Conjunct, like right conjunct. Now, this asteroid, okay, with asteroids, right? Minor asteroids like this one, you're not even gonna feel it in your chart unless it's like making a very tight, and by tight aspect, I mean like 0 degree orb, okay, to your inner planets. So your sun, your moon, your angles, your Venus, Mars, Mercury maybe. Unless it's making a 0 degree or maybe like 1 degree orb to those planets, then it becomes important. If it's not, it's nothing, okay? So like if you have like, for example, Sun in 1 degrees Aries and you have Urania or other minor asteroids in 1 or 2 degrees Aries or maybe 0 degrees Aries, then okay, this is becoming important, otherwise it's not. Or it can be, you know, trines, sextiles, squares, all those other aspects. Asteroid Urania is one of the Muses. She's one of the 9 daughters of Zeus. And these 9 daughters of Zeus are called the Muses, okay, in history and in astrology. So there's, you know, there's Calliope, who rules literature. There's Euterpe, who rules the wind instruments, for example. There's Thalia, who rules comedy, and so on. And then there's Urania, who actually rules astrology and astronomy. So when I first discovered that I had like Urania right on my midheaven, I was like 3 weeks ago, I was like, oh, I just got so excited, guys. This discovery, all right, really made me feel like I am on the right path in doing what I'm doing with astrology, even though I don't know what the outcome is going to be yet, but I'm pursuing it and I'm on the right path. My compass is pointing in the right direction, finally. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so and besides from that, and so my midheaven is in 19 degrees Pisces and Urania is in 19 degrees Pisces, right on my midheaven, and right sextiling my sun, which is in 19 degrees Taurus, and trining my moon, which is in 19 degrees Cancer. So it's like a 0 degree orb to 3 major points in my chart. Just talking about it, I just feel really excited. Anyways, I'm gonna leave a link in the description box below on how you can turn on Urania and the other Muses, so that maybe you can find out if there are any, you know, special artistic skills and talents that should be manifested within you. And the last thing that I want to talk about is Pallas, being in asteroid Pallas, being in my 10th house in the sign of Aries, though 0 degrees Aries. So Pallas is the goddess who rules strategic war planning. She plans very well, and she plans a whole city, okay? So she's very cerebral up there. And she also represents the ability to see patterns and to synthesize things. And therefore she also represents wisdom, okay? So having Pallas here in my 10th house is very interesting for me. I didn't realize that, I never actually turned on Pallas, really. I really figured out where she was, but now I'm very strategic in my career. Like, I planned, I'm very like Pallas in my career. Because I used to be a teacher, okay? So when I'm trying to plan my lesson plan, my plans are very, very well planned to the minute, to the details, like what I'm gonna do in this minute, what I'm gonna teach, what activities we're gonna do today, and how they're all linking together. That's my take on the 10th house and just a bit more information of the midheaven. So please leave in the comments below what sign rules your 10th house, your midheaven, and planets that you have there, and if you've managed to figure out where the Muses are within your chart. That'd be really interesting to share and to get to know. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button below if you haven't. If you've already subscribed, then thank you very much for coming along with me and everyone else in this astrology family that we've got here on our astrology growth journeys, growing and learning together. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!